Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny. I apologize if the camera and the lighting is bad. I'm working on getting some new equipment soon so I can record more videos. Today we're gonna write some Rust code in VS Code with Vim turned on, and we're gonna build a small program, sort of like a grep in Linux, where you can search for keywords using regex and search for keywords within a text file. So I already have a text file saved here called raven.txt, which is basically the poem, the Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. It's saved in the main directory of the grep project. So we're just gonna feed it a file path. We're gonna use the command line and feed it a file path, and then within that file path we're going to open up the file and search for the keyword that we want. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building out the program. I already have all the necessary dependencies and the crates already included just to save time. So first of all, let's build out a process lines function, and this function is going to take in a generic type. It's gonna be, let's see, I haven't used Vim in a while, so it's taking me a second to get back to the hang of it. So it's gonna take in a generic type of T. It's gonna require a trait bound of buff read and sized, just so we can have a size, the compiler can know the size in advance. And then it's going to take in two arguments. Let's see. The first one is going to be reader, and it's going to be of type T. The second one is going to be the regex, which is basically the needle that we're looking for in the haystack. The haystack being the reader. It's going to be a regex type. All right, and we won't return anything from this function. We're just going to go ahead and get an iterator started with the reader, and we're going to go over every single line. So we're going to say for line, but we're going to use a underscore because we're not going to use this line. We're going to unwrap it individually because the regex function is going to the method is going to return an optional. So for line in let's see, reader dot, what was the function again? What was the method again? Let's see. What was it? For line in reader. Dot. I just drew a blank. I apologize here. Let's see. Oh, dot lines. Yeah, that's the method that splits up the lines with the going by the this symbol right here. Okay, so lines. All right. As you can see, it's going to return a result. So we got to unwrap that. So let line equal line dot unwrap. Okay. So now for every single line, we're going to search using the regex pattern. So we're going to say match read.find, pass in the line as a reference, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over every single arm possible, every variant. So let's see, the first one is going to be sum. We're not going to use the item wrapped inside of sum, because all we're going to do is just print out that we found a line. So it's going to be sum arrow, let's see, print line. We're just going to print out the line. Okay, just like that. And then if that doesn't work, if we didn't find anything, then so it's going to be none. And no, we're not going to do anything with that. So none, a unit type. We're not going to return anything. We're just going to keep going. Yeah, so let's go ahead and add a print line here because I like to print something to the terminal so that I can see what's going on. Searching for nice rejects. Okay, so if we find if we match the find result, we're gonna print it out. If we don't, it's keep going. Okay, we can also add a boolean here. So let's say let found equal false, right? The compiler is gonna infer that to be a boolean, and it's gonna be immutable. So then, if we do find a match, we're gonna change that to equal true, and then at the end, if no found, if it wasn't found, then we're just gonna print no matches found for the read. Okay, and that should be good for the process line function. All right, so then let's do the main. Okay, so all right, for the main, we're gonna have to start out with the CLI, the command line interface. So we're gonna start out with let args equal app new. We're gonna name it Grep Lite. Okay. After that, we can also do the version and all of that, but it's not necessary. It's not mandatory. What is mandatory is the argument that we're gonna have to pass in to this program. So it's gonna be arg. Actually, I'll do that on a separate line, just so everything can be nice and neat. Art new. Let's see, what's the name? Actually, no, I think it's a different with name, I believe. Yeah, with name. And it's going to be pattern, so that's going to be the pattern we're looking for. And then it's going to be dot tick value true. Let's see. Dot require true. And I think that's it for that. So that we can go to the next argument, which is going to be the file path, wherever the input is, wherever the text file is going to be at. So we're going to do arg with name input. Oh, I forgot, it's supposed to be a help, just so we can help the user to know what to do with the argument. Provide a file path for the text to be searched. How about that? And then dot takes a value true dot require also true. Okay. Dot get matches. That's going to be the final method. Let's see. I gotta provide a help for this top one too. Hold on 1 second. Help provide a pattern to search for dot text value. Okay, so that should be good for the args variable. Now we're gonna say let pattern equal args dot value of pattern. Okay, let input equal args dot value of input. Let's unwrap it. Same with the pattern. Okay. So once we have that, we have the file path and we have the pattern. So now what's next here? Let's see. We're going to open up the file. So we're gonna say let file equal file open, and it's gonna be the input. Because we set the require to true, so if the user does not provide the pattern or the input, it won't even get this far. So we don't have to do any error checking for that as well. So we have to unwrap this. So now that we have the file, we're gonna have to create a buff reader for it and return that. So let reader equal buff reader new, and we're just gonna wrap it. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it with a file, just like that. And then we're gonna just use the function that we wrote earlier, the process lines function, passing in the reader and the pattern. Right? Process lines, reader, pattern. What is the problem here? What is the error? Mismatch type is supposed to be a regex. Oh, okay. The regex. Huh. Oh. Hold on. The pattern. So we got the pattern. We got the value. We got to turn it into a regex first. So new. Okay, it takes in a string slice. So we're just gonna pass in pattern. See how that works. What is the problem here? Mismatch type, found enum. Oh. Wait. Reader, unwrap. We might have to unwrap this too, right? Is that what that is? Ah, okay. That works. That should work. Let's see. We get the pattern, we get the input, we open up a file, we open up the file, and then we wrap up a buff reader around the file, return the reader, pass it to the function. Okay, let's give it a try to see if that works. Okay, so cargo run. I like to put the Q flag, which is the quiet flag, so that it doesn't show all of the unnecessary stuff, the lines, the initiations and stuff like that to the console. And then we're just gonna pass in, let's see what happened if we just write that. Yeah, see, so it requires a pattern and an input. So it tells you that, right? There you go. Require 2 arguments, pattern and input. So we're going to do that again, except this time the pattern is going to be, let's say, chamber, and then the file path is going to be raven.txt. Nice, there it is. So as you can see, searching for chamber, and these are all the lines within the entire poem that has chamber in the line. It's a long poem. So yeah, and if let's say if we pass in something else that doesn't exist within a text file, so let's say I don't know, Bitcoin, raven.txt, no matches found for Bitcoin. Okay, so that's it. This is a small mini program just to learn Rust. I am basically, I would say, a few months into learning Rust, and I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, C is my fundamental base language, but I found a pretty steep learning curve trying to get into Rust, but as of now, I think I'm picking it up pretty well, and yeah, that's it. Hope that helps you guys. Hope you enjoy your day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.